Yeah. um, Barring this, not 90 cases tomorrow. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Keno Guerrier.
Mr. Guerrero, you're here in 2021 CF 7382 AO on a charge of shooting into an occupied vehicle. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to state your bond in that case amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victims in that case, not return to the scene, the location where this incident happened, that you not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons and firearms you have need to be shown to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, I guess there's a hold placed on him. I was wondering if pretrial services could tell me what the hold is.
And I looked at his felony case. I was trying to figure that out. In 2020 CF 6363 AO, you had your bond revoked in that case because you were arrested in case 2021 CT 901 AW.
The hold that's holding him is the Polk County
Oh, you got Polk County?
TA warrant that he's already been served on.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another traffic case from Polk County. All right, have a great day, sir. Good morning, this is Spanish. Rodriguez. Do you need an interpreter, Mr. Rodriguez?
No,
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Juan Jose Rodriguez Chavez.
Mr. Rodriguez, you're here in case 2015 CF 11709 AO on a failure to appear warrant. The judge signing your warrant in that case says your bond is $0. Did you already have a public defender?
Yes, you did, Judge.
All right. You already had the public defender's office representing you. Let me get you on to your next court date. You have a great day, sir. Oh, here you go. Sorry. That's all I get to see late now.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Royo, State Certified Interpreter, previously sworn this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Roy. This is Judge Bain calling from the BRC. I have a defendant with the headsets on. Can you see if we can make a connection?
Yes, 1 second, please.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Aleshka Rivera Sanchez. Aleshka Rivera Sanchez.
Aloshka Rivera Sanchez.
Ms. Rivera Sanchez, you're here in case 2021 CF 7381 AO on charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $2,500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. That you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return if you have a shared residence with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, ma'am. You have a great day. Mr. Ramos, you need an interpreter. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Olvin Resto. Olvin Resto. Olvin. O
Melvin
I-N.
Rest.
Olvin Resto.
I'm sorry, I cannot catch.
Olvin Resto.
Albin, I think he's saying Resto.
Right.
I can't catch his first name.
It's Olvin. Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 7200 AO on on two charges, conspiracy to traffic in 28 grams or more heroin, and unlawful two-way communication device. Use of an unlawful two-way communication device. The judge signing your warrant in your case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Your bond account one is $500,000. Count two, $150. Additionally, your bond that you not have any contact with any witnesses or co-defendants. That you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Before you're able to bond out, whoever's posting your bond needs to comply with Florida Statute 903.046, sub 2, sub F, and file an affidavit with the court attesting that the funds used to bond you out do not come from this illegal activity or any other illicit activity. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Gracias, buen día.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter. I think that was my last case.
Very
Actually,
well,
what can you do
disconnect.
one favor? Can you make an announcement in the gallery and see if anybody needs your services?
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Hay alguien en el público que requiere un intérprete en español? Si es así, levante la mano.
I can't see everybody. Would anybody see any hands up out there? Okay. All right, have a great day.
You're welcome. Bye.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Eric Ramos?
And
Melissa Vickers on behalf of Mr. Ramos.
good morning, Mr. Ramos. You are here in case 2021 CF 7196AO on charges of conspiracy to traffic in 400 grams or more of cocaine and unlawful two-way, and use of an unlawful two-way communication device. I'm having so much problem with that sentence today. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Stay your bonds in this case in amount of, actually, well, counsel, you don't want to tell me anything before I set bonds?
I do, Your Honor. The co-defendant in this case was at initial appearance, I don't know, a couple of days ago, and the bond on the warrant was originally $250,000 on count one, I believe $150 on count two. And in initial appearance, his bond was reduced to $100,000 on count one and it stayed at $150 on count two. We're just asking for the same. I already spoke to the state attorney in the division who has it, and he told me to file a bond motion, and set it for hearing in front of the division judge, which I will do because Mr. Ramos is still not going to be able to make a $100,000 bond, but we're asking at least the court, in all fairness, to reduce his bond to $100,000 as the co-defendant's was.
State? No objection, Your Honor. All right, sir, in count one, I'm going to set your bond amount of $100,000. Count two, I'm going to stay your bond amount of $150,000. Condition of your bonds, you have no contact with any witnesses or co-defendants from this case. That you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without any valid prescription. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make a correction since it was on the record. You meant count to $150?
Yes, I say,
$150,000.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
$150, I apologize. That's a count two. That you not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm gonna make a condition of your bond that if you are, whoever's posting your bond in this case, comply with Florida Statute 903.046, sub 2, sub F, and file an affidavit with the court attesting that the funds used to bond you out did not come from any illicit activity or this current criminal activity.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, everybody have a great day. Actually, I'm gonna separate this in half before I make a mess. All right, what you got? Okay. I'll try to get Mr. Barlow here to resolve his case in 2021 MO 714AO. I think I already had appointed a public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
I want to state Mr. Barlow's bonds as set in this case. the amount of $250 and $100 to find probable cause for his arrest as to the charges of disorderly conduct and I believe drug paraphernalia was the other charge, really. I'm not gonna take any action on this 2021 CF 4200AO case. Yes, use behavior. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Sean Philip Payton.
Mr. Payton, you're here in case number 2021 MO 716AO on charge of disorderly conduct. I did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. I believe the city is offering withholds of adjudication of guilt and court costs to resolve your case today, if that's something you want to do.
Time, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's
Can you cover your nose for me and then raise your right hand this morning? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Sir, you're here in case 2021 MO 716AO on charge of disorderly conduct. Did we go over a plea form with him?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, Ms. Kennedy Swanson, there were, I think, literally like 9 cases that we probably can resolve today. Did we get all those offers over to Ms. George this morning? All right,
no contest.
all right. Ms. George, you had time to talk to all these people this morning?
No, Your Honor, I spoke to them in general. I was already back there when I got them, when I got the offer, so I was not able to speak to them individually, but I did speak to them in general about the rights they have to give up if they accept the offer today.
Okay. Did they already have the back copies of the plea forms with them?
That I,
Did you? Okay. All right, Mr. Payton, you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case?
No contest, sir?
You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yeah.
What was that mental health illness?
Anxiety.
Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of your anxiety disorder right now?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
Sir, did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find a factual basis for the entering of your plea. You're going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Going to withhold adjudication of guilt. Give you credit for the 3 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 3 days credit time served. The court costs in this case are $223. I'm going to give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, did he just didn't want to wake up this morning too, or what's going on with him? All right,
Your Honor, can we at least try tomorrow? And then,
all right, I'll reach out for tomorrow, give him one more shot to try to resolve his case. Good morning, sir, can you tell me your name?
Clark.
What's that, say your full name?
Jack Clark.
Mr. Clark, you're here in case 2021 MM 4315AO on a charge of paid theft. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. State you convey an offer in this case?
That's an enhanceable offense, Your Honor. We can make any enhanceable offense offers.
I just want to be clear, even when like, it's not enhanceable based on his criminal history, I just want to make sure.
Correct, whether it's a
Oh.
criminal history, the amount or value, or the victim. Either way, we won't be making any offers on those.
Okay. I just want to understand the change. All right, Mr. Clark, I did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to say your bond in this case amount of $250. Condition of your bond that you not return to the scene of the location. You not have any contact with any victims or witnesses in this case. You are out on ROR, or is it cash bond? Which one is it? I have both marked on my sheet.
It's RR on the possession of drug paraphernalia and the resisting and cash bond on the burglary.
All right. All right, so you're out on bond in count one, it's 2021 CF 71520 AO, and you've been releasing your own recognizance as to the remaining counts. Court finding probable cause that you committed a new law offense is going to revoke those bonds or ROR status and set new bonds at $0. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in your new case. And if you're not, does he have a public defender's other case? All right.
Your Honor, I would just ask that you revoke and double. I don't see any other criminal history.
Well, we just left us, today's the 23rd on the 18th. He's already in contact with law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that back. He was arrested actually yesterday, so the 22nd, so 4 days later.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
No, there's no bond. Everything's on bond. All right. This case 2021 MM 4312 AO. Mr. Moody is here on charge of trespass on property after warning and petty theft. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent him.
Your Honor, can we reset him for tomorrow?
Is he going to be available tomorrow, Dexter? All right. Well, based on the petty theft as well? That's what I'm trying to make clear, because
Your Honor, there's not gonna be an offer in this case.
all right.
Okay.
All right, I want to stay. Gonna waive his appearance. You waiving his appearance then?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, going to set bond in count one, $250. $100 is the count two. No return to the scene. No contact with any victims or witnesses. Yes, sir. Can you tell me your name, sir, please?
Trent Daniels.
Good morning, Mr. Daniels. You're here in two matters. The first one is 2021 CO 536 AO. You're here for a failure to appear warrant on the charge of solicitation without a permit. Your bond in that case is $100. You're also here in case 2021 MM 4321 AO on charge of criminal mischief. I reviewed that charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to
Mr. Daniels, on the 21 CO 536, the failure to appear, the offer is adjudication credit for time. So
Yep.
there is no offer on the
Correct.
21 MM 4321.
All right. That's a criminal mischief charge, going to set your bond amount of $500, no return to the scene, no contact with any victims or witnesses. Mr. Daniels, did you want to resolve your solicitation case with the county?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Sir, you're here in case 2021 CO 536 AO on a charge of solicitation without a permit. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case today?
No contest.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're waiving all the rights outlined on the plea form that you reviewed this morning.
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, and medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes, sir.
What is that mental health illness?
Extreme anxiety.
Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of your extreme anxiety disorder right now?
Say again.
Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of your extreme anxiety disorder right now?
Just the mask kind of making it hard to breathe, that's all.
Yeah, well, all right. You understand if you're not a United States citizen, entering this plea could subject you to deportation?
Sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
Sir.
All right, I had the opportunity to actually review this file before I came to court today, so I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'm going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'm giving credit for 2 days in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs in that case are $223. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Fernandez, sir.
Mr. Fernandez, you're here in case 2021 MM 2349AO, or for a failure to appear on the underlying charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. State, are you proceeding on this case?
No, Your Honor, state filed a no pros on Mr. Fernandez's case.
All right. The state of Florida dismisses charges against you, sir. Have a great day.
God bless. Thank you, guys.
Madam Clerk, do you need the file, the printed one, or is the e-filing? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Ronald Norelia.
Oh, sorry. You went back. Apologize. Good morning, sir. You're here in case 2021 MM 4317AO on charge of trespass after warning. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. State was an offer you conveyed.
Withhold perfect time served, no return.
Oh, you went backwards. Okay.
Sir, would you like to accept the state's offer this morning of a withhold adjudication and guilt credit time, sir, to resolve your case today?
Resolve my case today.
Yes. Okay. You said the P is already appointed in this case?
Okay, Your Honor. You
Ms.
are-
George, I guess the public defender already represents Mr., is it Noreen? Say your last name, Mr. Ronald?
Norelia.
Aurelia.
Yes, Your Honor. He would like to accept the state's
Well,
offer. Sorry.
I guess you're not appointed.
He would like to accept the offer.
All right. Mr. Aurelia, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 4317AO on charge of trespass after warning. That's a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case today?
No contest.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest in this case, you're going to give up your rights, all those rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes, sir.
What was that mental health illness?
PTSD, severe PTSD, and also schizoaffective disorder.
All right. Are you suffering from the symptoms of those mental health illnesses right now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you thinking it's to the point where you cannot understand what's going on around you?
I understand, sir.
All right. Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand about entering this plea? If you're not a United States citizen, you could be deported from this country.
Yes, sir.
I did have an opportunity to review your charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'll accept your plea of no contest in this case, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll withhold adjudication of guilt. I give him credit for the 2 days they spent in Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court cost of prosecution in this case are $223.50 cost of prosecution for $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You got 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
You too, sir.
No. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Jesse Hartnett.
Mr. Hartnett, you're here in case 2020 MM 8747 AO on a failure to appear warrant for the underlying charge of petty theft. It says court order PTR. That's something you're gonna be able to do?
Now, Mr. Harnett, the offer of adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
All right. Okay, I guess Mr. Hartnett, I guess Mr. George, the Public Defender's Office representing Mr. Hartnett.
Yes, Your Honor. He would like to accept the state's offer for
Right.
today. However, on that, are you showing this out on bond case? 'Cause
I'm not taking any action on the out-of-bond case. All right.
And he would like to enter a plea of no contest.
All right, sir, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're gonna give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're here in case 2020 MM 8747 AO for a charge of petty theft. That is a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
I do.
Do you want to, Ms. George, what plea you want to enter on behalf of your client?
No contest, Your Honor.
Mr. Harnett, do you understand by entering a plea of no contest in this case, you're going to give up all the rights outlined on the plea form in front of you?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you also, if a later conviction for a petty theft can be used against you to enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony?
I understand.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
I understand.
Did the party stipulate to a factual basis? Based on that stipulation, the court will find a factual basis for your plea. I accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I give him credit for
4 days.
4 days in Orange County Jail with 4 days credit time served. The court costs and costs of prosecution in this case are $273. There's a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. I make all those costs payable directly to the clerk within 2 years of today's date. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, have a great day, sir. Sorry, and I'm not taking any action on the 2021 CF 2836 AO case. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Cletus Holloway.
Mr. Holloway, you're here in case 2020 MM 2857 BO for an online charge of trespassing a structure. The judge signed your warrant, set your bond amount of $500. It was offered, did you get your guilt credit time served?
Withhold credit for time served, no return.
All right, withhold.
Your Honor, I believe we're on this case. He would like to enter a plea of no contest and accept the state's offer
Right.
with whole credit time served.
All right, sir, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're gonna give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you put your hand down. Sir, you're here in case 2020 MM 2857 BO on a charge of trespassing a structure. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ms. George says you want to enter a plea of no contest. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest in this case, you're going to give up all the rights outlined on the plea form that you went over this morning.
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
Yes, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
Yes, sir.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Yes, sir.
Did the party stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Based on that stipulation, the court will find a factual basis. I'll accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll withhold adjudication of guilt. I'll give you credit for the 4 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 4 days credit time served. The court costs and costs of prosecution in this case are $273. There's a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien. I make all those costs payable directly to the clerk within 2 years of today's date. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
What all I gotta pay?
Yes, about $40, but you get 2 months.
It's so now I can take that paperwork back to my job, because I need it to get in my job.
Yes, those are the two.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Alicia Knight.
Sorry. Ms. Knight, you're here in case 2021 MM 2109AO on a failure to appear warrant for an underlying charge of trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance. The judge set your bond amount of $750.
And Your Honor, there is a offer of a withhold of adjudication credit time served and no return. Ms. Knight would like to accept the state's offer and plea no contest.
All right, ma'am, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you put your hand down, ma'am. Ma'am, you are here in case 2021 MM 2109AO on charge of trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case today?
No contest.
You understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on that plea form that's in front of you. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes.
So can you give me a quick little review, factual basis? I didn't have time to review this one.
March 27th, 21, Walmart loss prevention officer saw defendant Knight and Walker enter the store. After both were previously trespassed on December 25th of 2020, the LPO saw the defendant Walker and Knight pass out points of sales. Then the co-defendant Walker took off running. Knight was still in the Walmart parking lot and she was arrested.
All right, based on that recitation, the court did find factual basis for the entering of your plea. Accept your plea of no contest, finds your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, withhold adjudication of guilt. I give you credit for the 3 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 3 days credit time served. Court cost of prosecution in this case are $273. I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing.
I cannot recall if we were appointed previously.
I don't think so. Madam Clerk says you weren't appointed, so that's why I didn't assess her the charge. And if it's not, you may want to stay away from the Walmarts. Shop at Target, somewhere else. I'm saying stay out, it'll save you a lot, like some hassle.
Thank you.
She's already trespassed, so she's not supposed to go back there.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
David Sammy Cruz.
Mr. Cruz, you are here in case 2021 CF 7377AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Jessica Houts, Houts.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, Ma'am, can you tell me how you know Mr. Cruz?
We live together.
All right. And do you want to have contact with Mr. Cruz while his case is pending?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Has there been any prior instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
Yes.
Were you the subject of these prior DV charges and violations of domestic violence injunctions?
Yes.
Or has anybody, sorry, did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
Yes.
All right, State, do you have any questions for the witness?
Was that drugs or alcohol?
Drugs.
No further questions, Your Honor.
And Ms. George, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
State requests RUA.
Yep. And I see that Mr. Cruz just joined us back from last year. All right, Mr. Cruz, I'm gonna set your bond in this case in the amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond is you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're also not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I give him a one-time return, correct?
You did.
All right. Do you have any questions about the no contact order, Mr. Cruz?
Just so I can't go back home then, right, correct?
If she's living there, then no. You have to maintain a separate residence. You can return one time with law enforcement.
All right. Yeah, I understand, no problem.
All right, make sure you understand everything on that sheet, because it seems like you had problems doing that in the past.
Yes, sir, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, everybody have a great day.
So my charge is, what's, okay.
It's battery, domestic violence, but it's yep, by strangulation. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
James Lindsley.
I can say it again?
James Lindsley.
Mr. Lindsay, you're here in case 2020 CF 13169AO on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. They reviewed a charging affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your, the judge signed your warrant has already found probable cause for your arrest. All right, sir, I want to set your bond in this case in an amount of $7,500. Condition of your bond is you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I don't think you guys live together, so you don't need a one-time return. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You're on probation, but that just started. This case came from last year. Right. Have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Joshua Lynch.
Mr. Lynch, you are here in case 2021 CF 7417AO. On charge of tampering with a witness and hinder communication and false imprisonment. You're also here in case 2021 MM4316AO on charge of battery domestic violence. As to your felony, I did review the charging affidavits in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in the tampering charge in the amount of $1,000, count 2 in the amount of $2,000 in false imprisonment, and for your battery charge, you're going to set your bond in the amount of $500. Though those bonds will be supervised by pretrial release in this case, condition of those pretrial release and bond is that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at a shared residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. You have a great day.
Judge, can I have the bonds on Mr. Lynch's case?
1,000, 2,500, PTR, no contact, no maintain separate residence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Janquil Lynch.
Ms. Lynch, you're here in case 2021 CF 7418AO on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and criminal mischief. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $2,500, count 2, $500. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. However, ma'am, you are on probation in case 2020 CF 834AO. Based on the affidavit that I read, determination there is probable cause for a new law offense. The court's going to find an on-view violation of your probation. I'm going to set your new bond at $0. You're a violent felony offender of special concern, ma'am, because of the charges you picked up in this case. You're not going to be entitled to releasing your violation of probation until your violation of probation goes to hearing and is completed. You have a great day, ma'am. And I'm appointing a public defender in her violation of probation case as well. I try to help you guys out. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
James Bowles.
Mr. Bowles, you're here in case 2021 MM 4319AO on a charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $2,000. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at this location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Do you have any questions about the no contact order, sir?
No, sir.
All right, have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Stephen Griffin.
Mr. Griffin, you're here in case 2021 MM 4330AO on charges of battery, domestic violence, and criminal mischief. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for this or for your arrest. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Fiona Brown, BROWN.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes.
All right. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Griffin?
We have our 2-month-old daughter together.
All right. And do you want to have contact with Mr. Griffin while this case is pending?
No.
Has there been any prior instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
Yes.
Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, Mr. Griffin, I'm going to set your bond in count one, amount of $1,000, count two, $500. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess or consume any drugs, You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. This child, this 2 months old, did he sign a birth certificate for that child?
Yes.
Is he on child support? Is the time sharing plan in place?
No, nothing.
Do you all have a joint bank account where you all deposit money for the care of that child?
No, sir.
All right. All right, so I'm gonna let the division judge, Judge Shoemaker, work all those details out about the child. All right, everybody have a great day.
I'm sorry, Aaron, what were the bonds again?
1,500. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Pearson.
Mr. Pearson, you're here in case 2021 MM 4320AO on a charge of domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $1,000. Condition your bond be subject to pretrial release supervision, that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. If you have a shared residence, I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. You also have 48 hours from the time you are released from the Orange County Jail to report to the Orange County Sheriff's Office as a violent sexual predator or sexual offender. Say you asking for any other conditions? I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
And that was bond plus.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
That's Monte Adams.
Mr. Adams, you're here in case 2021 CF 7321 AO on charge of racketeering in count 1 and conspiracy to racketeer in count 2. The judge signed your warrant in that case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Want to stay your bonds in those cases amount of $500,000 in count 1, $250,000 in count 2. Condition of the bond that you not have any contact with any witnesses or co-defendants from that case. You not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Before anybody can bond you out, I'm going to have them comply with Florida Statute 903.046 sub 2 sub F, file an affidavit with the court attesting that the funds used to bond you out did not come from this criminal activity or any other illicit activity. You are also on probation in case 2019 CF 17103 AO. Based on this warrant, of course, and the law enforcement's on view violation, of course, going to set your bond at $0 on that. Find the probable cause that you violated your probation. You're a violent felony offender, special concern, you're not going to be entitled to release on that case until your violation of probation has been resolved by hearing. You are out on bond in case 2021 CF 3562 AO, as well as 2020 CF 14379. In those cases, court's going to revoke those bonds, set new bonds at $0 in your case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in all the cases that you're not already appointed. You have a great day, sir.
I have a lawyer.
You have a lawyer on all your cases?
No, not all of them.
Which lawyer, who do you have on one
For
case?
the racketeering,
You have a lawyer in that case?
yeah, I just got one yesterday, but
All right, so for your violation of probation, I'll appoint the
I'm
public
gonna
defender.
have him for that too.
Well, right now, you're not hired him, so, you're not gonna have any representation. You're gonna go to VOP hearing probably the next day or two, so make sure you may not be able to get that done in time. So I'll give you an attorney to have in your pocket at that time.
All right.
All right, have a great day, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Monique Calderon.
Ms. Calderon, you're here in case 2021 CF 47810 on charge of fleeing attempt to elude law enforcement with lights and sirens. The judge signing your warrant in your case has already found probable cause for your arrest. We're going to set your bond in that case amount of $3,500. Condition of your bond that you do not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, ma'am. You have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Michael Anthony Florence.
Mr. Florence, you're here in case 2021 CF 7403 AO on charge of possession of cocaine. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $500. Condition of your bond, you not possess or consume any drugs, alcohol without a valid prescription. You not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users while you're out on bond in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
You too, sir.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Julius.
Say your name again.
Ronald Scott Gandy Jr.
All right, Mr. Gandy, you're here in case 2021 CF 7402 AO on charge of possession of MDMA or ecstasy. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Want to stay your bond in this case amount of $1,000. Condition of your bond, you not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, that you not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users while you're out on release in that case. State, did you already file on the trespass case?
Yes, Your Honor, we filed the trespass. I have a second. Adjudication credit for time served, no return on 21 MM 2592.
Mr. Gandy, you want to resolve your trespass case in 2021 MM 2592 AO?
Time, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down, sir. Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 2592 AO on charge of trespass on property after warning. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that? Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest? I think he's already appointed by the public defender. I think I saw him
Yes, Your Honor.
appointed the public defender.
There's a cost investigation of $147.65 to the Orlando Police Department.
All right. Yeah, but I think it,
How much?
$147.65. All right. I should have said this beforehand. Mr. Gandy, I am going to take action on your other case, the child abuse case. But I don't know if that changes your mind about whether you want to resolve the trespass case.
That's cool. What do you mean you're gonna take action on it?
Probably going to revoke your bond as the child abuse case and battery case.
Your Honor, I would ask that if he resolves a trespass, that you revoke in double if he's resolving it today. I just ask that you take that into consideration.
I was thinking about it, then I went back and reviewed the facts of that case. I'm not willing to do that after reviewing the case file.
This is the pretrial date, July 14th, trial period beginning December 26th.
Yeah, but I don't think I took action the last time, because I think I saw Mr. Gandy when he came in on the trespass case, if I remember correctly. So I didn't take action the last time I saw you, and then now you're here in front of me again for another charge. All right,
We're gonna enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
all right, Mr. Gandy, you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're gonna waive all the rights on that plea form? You understand?
Actually, Your Honor, how do I get my bond back?
You can file a bond motion in front of your division judge, and seems like you got pretrial in a few weeks,
Yes, sir.
7/14.
7/14, so like in 2 weeks, you're gonna be in pretrial anyways. Maybe you can get a bond motion filed around in that same time when you talk to your public defender.
Talk to my public defender. Okay.
Yes, sir. You can, and maybe that, if that judge feels it's appropriate, they'll release you on a new bond.
All right.
All right. Do you understand you waiving all those rights, like your right to have a trial, right to confront the witnesses and evidence? All right, are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
Yes, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea? Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, you could be subject to deportation from this country? I did have an opportunity to review the facts in that case when we were here the last time, so I did find a factual basis contained therein for your charge. I'm going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'm going to give you credit for the 4 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 4 days credit time served. There's a court cost of prosecution amount of $273. There's a $50 public defender application fee and $50 public defender lien. There's also $147.65 to Orlando Police Department in cost of investigation. I'm going to order that all those costs are paid directly to the clerk within 3 years of today's date. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing in that case. As to 2021 CF 1688 AO, court's going to find an on-view violation of probation, the court's going to revoke that bond, find probable cause that a new law's crime has been committed while he was out on release in that case. Going to set a new bond at $0 in that matter. I believe he already has a public defender appointed in that case. Sorry. Oh. Apologize. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Rodney Grader.
Mr. Grady, you're here in three matters. The first one is 2021 CF 7416 AO on charge of fleeing, attempt to elude law enforcement license sirens activated, and driver license suspended as a third or subsequent offender. I believe that was a warrant. The judge signed your warrant in case it's already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in count one in that in the amount of $3,500. Count two, I want to stay in the amount of $2,500. Condition the bond in that case, you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
What was the bond on count one?
$3,500. You're also here in case 2021 CF 7335 AO on charge of racketeering, conspiracy to racketeering, commit racketeering, and possession of a firearm by convicted felon. The judge in that case, signing your warrant, has already found probable cause for your arrest. Want to stay your bonds in that case in the amount of $500,000 and $250,000 and $10,000. Condition your bonds in that case, you not have any contact with any witnesses or co-defendants from that case. You not having possessed or consumed any drugs or alcohol while you're out on release. You may not, sorry. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Yes, I have three cases. I have a third case. And in that case, like whoever is posting your bond needs to comply with Florida Statute 903.046 sub 2 sub F. File an affidavit with the court attesting that the funds used to bond you out did not come from that criminal activity that you're being accused of or any other illicit activity. You were also arrested in case 2021 CF 7404 AO on charges of possession of cocaine, possession of MDMA or ecstasy, and possession of drug paraphernalia. In that case, the court is going to stay your bonds and set, I believe, at 1,000. At 1,150 and 100. Condition that bond, not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. Now, you're also out on bond. In case 2020 CF 12259 AO. And state did you want to resolve 2020 CT 74 said 9-1? Is that connected to the other case?
We're not gonna resolve it today, Your Honor.
Okay.
She's not making an offer.
All right, in those two cases, the court's going to revoke those bonds, going to set new bonds at $0 in those matters, find an probable cause that you commit new law offenses while you're out on release in those cases. I want to appoint a public defender in those cases if you're not already appointed. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Marquis Harold.
Mr. Harold, you're here in case 2021 CF 7380AO on charge of battery and possession of a controlled substance. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond, I'll say your bonds is set at $100 and $1,000. Condition your bond that you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You know you cannot return to the scene of the location where this incident happened, and you may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. I'm gonna have to ask Ms. George, everything you asked me is on the record, so I don't want you to say anything you're not supposed to. And I had, Ishman bonded.
Bonded.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Tabitha Jones.
Ms. Jones, you're here in case 2021 CF 2495AO for a failure to appear. The judge in that case set your bond at $0. You're also here in case 2021 CF 7398AO for driving license suspended as a habitual traffic offender and attaching a tag to a vehicle not assigned. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond account one at $2,500, and count two, I'm going to set it at $100. Condition is you not drive or operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You're also here in case 2021 CF 7399AO for charge of possession of cocaine. Did review the charging affidavit in that case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in that case amount of $500. Condition your bond that you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. State, was there a way to resolve this 2020 CT case?
No, Your Honor.
Are you asking me to take action on the case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm not going to take any action on your 2020 CT 1061 AA case. Have a great day, sir. I'm sorry, this is the no contact, so. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Ron Manning.
Mr. Manning, you're here in case 2021 CF 6446AO for a charge of first-degree murder with a firearm and home invasion robbery with a firearm. The judge signed your warrant. In this case, has already found probable cause for your arrest. Say, what are you asking me to do to these two charges?
Hold the defendant at no bond. Both of these are punishable by life felonies, Your Honor. No contact with the victim, or the victim's family or any witnesses.
All right. We count one as a capital offense and count two as a life offense.
Your Honor, we have no argument. We reserve the right to have an Arthur hearing.
All right. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you. I believe they're gonna have a conflict because they already, I saw, I think at least one of your co-defendants already last week. So you're gonna get a new attorney at some point with regional conflict counsel, and or the court's gonna assign you a court-appointed attorney. But as to these two charges, I'm gonna hold you at no bond. Condition of your bond is you have no contact with any witnesses, with any co-defendants, or with this victim's family. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be determined to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. All right, appointed public defender, correct? All right, have a great day, sir. mean, shred it, can you shred it, yeah. Isn't that where we shred stuff? Or you got another pile? All right, yeah, you shred it. Yeah, maybe now it's okay. I saw the co-defendant last week. Yes. All right, Mr. McQuay's hearing case 2021 CF 7420 on charges of giving false information, false name adversely affecting another, and driving license suspended, as well as 2 armed view violation probations from Brevard County in case 2020 CF 33727 and 2020 CF 44064. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, state as to count 2 in 2021 CF 7420, identifying probable cause for the adversely affecting another part, because usually that involves.
Here yesterday, and he's informed the court, I believe, right yesterday, that he had the ID, but that was never him. He never told the officer. That was.
Yeah, I remember. I think his name is actually Marcus Lester.
Yes, so today they have the correct name, yes, under him. You said count 2 you didn't find?
Yeah, usually it requires that the person actually be arrested, like the other person, like the adverse person.
That's fine. I have no additional RORs to count 1.
No, I found a lesser included offense of giving false name, which is less 901.36 sub 1.
The state's not gonna file that count.
I'm just telling you, I found PC for that charge, but I didn't find PC for the charge that was listed.
Okay.
Or lesser included offense. All right, so as the driver license is suspended, the court's gonna set the bond amount of $500. As to count 2, we're gonna find PC for the lesser included offense of, you got it? 901.36 sub 1. Oh, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at my. It may be right. Okay, all right, never mind. So yeah, given on my face sheet is in a different order. All right, so as a given false name, the court's gonna find PC for 901.36 sub 1. I'm gonna say his bond $500 on my account as well. Condition his bond not possess or any personal identification of anybody except his own, as well as he not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. As to his on-view violations filed in Brevard County cases, the court's gonna stay his bond at none.
And what's the bond on the driving?
It's 500 and 500 on both counts. Because she's not here. The charge he should be is possessing personal identification of another. Unlawful possession of personal identification of another. That's a charge, but without that. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Miller, you're here in case 2021 CF 7393AO on charges of burglary of a dwelling, burglary of a conveyance, petty theft, possession of methamphetamine, possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia, and criminal mischief. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. You're going to state your bond in count 1 amount of $5,000, count 2, $3,500. Going to state your bonds and remaining counts at 100, 150, 150, 100, and 150. Condition of the bond, no return to the scene of the location. You may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses. You also may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Mr. Miller, you are 25 years old. And don't know what's going on with you, but unless you just want to, do the on and off life sentence, we call it, hanging out here at the jail or in prison, you may want to go about your life a different path. All right, one point of public defender to represent you. Have a great day.
Count 5 was 5,000. I mean, count 1 was 5,000.
Right.
Count 2 was raised to 35,000.
Correct. Let's He was just here on that particular charge in September of last year. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Bharat Naranjan, sir.
Is it Naranjan?
Naranjan?
All right, Mr. Naranjan, you're here in case 2021 CF 7052 AO on charge of trafficking in cocaine of greater than 28 grams, less than 200 grams, selling, delivery of cocaine, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. The judge signed your warrant. This case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Bond to count 1 is $50,000, count 2, 1,000, count 3, 100. Condition your bond that you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not associated with any known drug dealers or drug users. You also, whoever's bonding you out in this case needs to comply with Florida Statute 903.046 sub 2 sub F, attesting that the funds used to bond you out were not derived from any criminal activity or any illicit activity or the crime that you're being accused of in this case. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in your case. You have a great day, sir. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Timothy Nolan.
Mr. Nolan, you're here in case 2021 CF 7383 AO on charge of possession of a weapon or firearm by a convicted delinquent. The judge signing your warrant in your case did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond in that case, amount of $5,000. Condition your bond is you not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be determined with law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm not going to take any action on 2020, I think it's 2021, CF 2730 AO, as this crime was alleged to have been committed prior to his arrest on the other charge. One point of public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
Sir, you too.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Nick Noriega, Your Honor.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 2896 AO on charge of burglary of an occupied dwelling with a solid battery therein and grand theft. The court did review the charging affidavit in this case. Sorry, there was a warrant, apologize. There was a warrant affidavit in this case where the judge has already found probable cause for your arrest. State, what do you ask me to do as to count 1 of this warrant affidavit?
Have a moment, Your Honor. We'll leave that in court discretion.
Your Honor?
Don't talk about that.
Can I just ask to be ROR'd? Like, I promise I will come to court, whatever.
I can't ROR you on this charge. This is law charge is punishable by life in prison.
Oh.
In count 1. All right, sir. All right, sir, with your criminal history, that's just not gonna really be an option. All right, sir, I'm gonna set your bond in count 1 amount of $100,000. Count 2, gonna set your bond amount of $1,000. Condition your bond that you have no contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants that you have from this case. That you not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be determined with law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol while you're out on release. Be subject to random drug and alcohol testing while you're on release in this case. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir. Yeah, no return. Yeah, no return. Sorry, no return. I didn't say no return. Well, I think it goes with the no contact because it happened at the victim's residence. All right, this case 2021 CF 7394 AO, Mr. Torres Cardona. He's here on charges of possession of cocaine and trespass on property other than trespass after warning. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent him.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-4. 10-
See? Yeah, he said he refused. Want to state the bonds as set in this case. Amount of 1,000, is it 100? Condition of the bond, no return to the scene, no contact with any victims or witnesses. Cannot possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. He's on probation in case 2019 CF 7959AO. Of course, going to find an on-view violation at probation based on the probable cause determination. He was arrested on a new law offense, and we're holding him in no bond as to that case. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent him in both cases. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you tell me your name?
Michael Watts.
Mr. Watts, you are hearing case 2021 CF 60610 on charges of trafficking in methamphetamine and 28 grams or more with a weapon, possession of a weapon by a convicted, possession of a firearm, weapon or firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, grand theft of a motor vehicle, driver license suspended as a third subsequent offender, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting an officer without violence. Judge signed your warrant. This case is already found probable cause for your arrest. State what you asked me to do as to count 1 of armed trafficking.
That's the arm trafficking. I don't believe that's a.
It's a life offense. Ms. Davis, or Ms. Torres, Mr. Torres Cardona, can you give me the right case number for the probation violation? Apparently this one is, Madam Clerk's pulling up a different case.
And currently, bond, Your Honor, said $200,000.
I was asking if you want me to take,
Saying
on the warrant, it said it's $200,000, but the question I'm having, say again?
no objection to leaving as is.
All right. Did take a look at this warrant. All right, Ms. George, what are you asking?
Your Honor, I would ask,
Appoint a public defender to represent him.
I would ask that you, stay the bond at 200,000 in this case.
All right. I'm gonna set bond account 1 amount of $500,000. Count 2, 4,000. Count 3, 1,000. Count 4, 500. Count 5, 100. Count 6, 100. And count 7, 100. Condition of the bonds that you not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not have any contact with any witnesses or co-defendants from this case. You may not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users while you're out on release in this case. Anybody that's posting bond for you in this case needs to comply with Florida Statute 903.046 sub 2 sub F and file an affidavit with the court attesting that the funds used to bond you out did not come from any illicit activity, including the crime that you're being charged of. You're also here in case 2021 CF 1615 AO for charge of possession of a concealed handcuff key. Judge signed that warrant, set your bond amount of $1,000. You were out on bond, very quickly, in case 2020 CF 11906 AO, as well as 2020 CF 4569 AO. Court's going to revoke those bonds, except found a probable cause that you have committed new law offenses while you're out on release. Said new bond is $0 in that case. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir. What's the condition? Sorry. That's already, yeah, you can already order him to do that on other cases. Both cases, yeah.
For Torres Cardona, his VOP is out of Broward County.
Ah, didn't know that.
You need it?
Well, sorry. So it's out of Broward County. Say, for Mr. Torres Cardonia, you asked me to take any action on his violation of probation from Broward County.
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm not gonna, I'll strike my order, not taking any action on his probation case from Broward. Need somebody to, like, let me know that on the form if you could. Just let them know, please. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Christopher Welch.
Mr. Welsh, you're here in case 2021 CF 5386AO for a violation of violation of pretrial lease conditions. Judge signed your warrant. In this case, set your bond at none. The bond's gonna remain at none in this case. I believe you already had the public defender appointed to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
Yep.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Tyler Work.
Mr. Wark, you're here in two matters. The first one is 2020 CF 7401AO on charge of possession of amphetamines and you're also here in 2021 MM 255AA on charge of trespass on property structure or conveyance, refusal to leave, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm gonna stay your bond in your amphetamine case. Amount of $1,000, condition that bond, not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users, and not return to the scene of the location. You're all in 2021 MM 255AA. Of course, going to set your bond in those two cases, amount of $150 each. Condition of those bonds that you not return to the scene of the location, not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and not associate yourself with any known drug dealers or drug users. You're out on PTR in case 2021 CF 3321AO. Of course, going to revoke that PTR. I'll set a new bond at $0 in that case. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in all your cases. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Christian Cisnero Gomez.
Sir, you're here in 2018 CF 13467AO for a violation of probation. Judge signed your warrant, set your bond at $0. Your bond is going to remain at $0. You are a violent felony offender. Special concern, sir, you're not going to be entitled to release on your violation of probation until you go to hearing on that case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir. All right, this is 2020 CF 880 for Mr. Crespo for violation of probation, and in 2021 CF 7396AO for charge of grand theft. I want to appoint the public defender to represent him in both cases.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
In 2021 CF 7396AO, the court they find probable cause after review the charging affidavit, going to set his bond amount of $1,000. Condition of bond, no return to the scene, no contact with any victims or witnesses from that case. In 2020 CF 880AO, based on the warrant signed by the judge, the court is going to set responding probable cause, going to set his bond at none. His bond going to remain at none, and get him on to his next court date. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Old Drake.
Mr. Drake, you're here in case 2020 CF 3714AO for a violation of probation. The judge signing your warrant in this case has already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to stay your bond at none in that case. 1 second. You're out on ROR in case 2020 CF 10835AO, out on bond in case 2020 CF 14599AO based on the affidavit filed in the warrant. signed by the judge for your violation of probation. Court believes you found an on-view violation, a probable cause that you committed a new law offense while you're out on bond and ROR in those cases. Going to set a new bond at $0 in those cases. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in your violation of probation case. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Talk to Ms. George first before you talk to me, because everything you tell me is on the record.
Your Honor, I was arrested in Brevard County, which were the new law offenses. Them charges were ultimately dropped, which my question for is, would it be possible to keep my bonds on them charges until on my other two cases in my ROR until I'm seen for that violation?
No, sir. You have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Brandon Laster, sir.
Mr. Lassiter, you're here in case 2018 CF 16816 AO for a violation of community control. The judge signing your warrant in your case has already found probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bond at none based on that warrant. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I want to interrupt you. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. All right. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Martin in 2021 MM 4323 AO. I'm in charge of resisting officer without violence, and he's here for two violations of probation in the same case, 2021 CF 2163 AO.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, I did find probable cause for his arrest in the 2021 MM 4323 AO. Gonna stay his bond amount of $500 in that case. In 2021 CF 2163 AO, there's a warrant and there's an on-view violation of probation. I'm gonna stay his bonds at $0 in both of those cases, or both those warrants and on-views. All right, this is 2021 CF 6690 AO. Ms. Villanueva is here, supposed to be on charge of written threats to kill or do bodily harm, as well as violations of probation in 2021 CF 15041 AO. For 2 counts of that, I guess.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
As to the written threats to kill. Let's see something. I'm going to set her bond in that case amount of $15,000. Addition to bond, she had no contact with the victim in that case. No return to the victim's residence. No weapons, no firearms. The weapons and firearms she has need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of her release. And in 2019 CF 15041 AO, of course, going to find on-view, based on the warrant signed by the judge, going to stay her bonds at $0 in those cases as they're related to the same victim in the new case. And still no contact with the victim. Yes, ma'am. All right, this is Mr. Martinez Ortega. He's supposed to be here in case 2021 CF 7287 AO on charge of possession of cannabis. And in 2 violations of probation cases, 2020 CF 3578 AO and 2020 CT 3790 AO. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent him in all 3 cases.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, he's only here for the violation of probation on 3790.
All right, well, that's a 3790. Court's going to hold him at no bond as to that charge. While I appoint a public defender to represent him, Ms. George, you want to waive his arraignment?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll waive and enter a denial.
BOP status, July 23rd at 1:30, courtroom 10B.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Connor Reeve, and good morning.
Sir, you're here in case 2019 MM 334 AE for violation of probation. The judge signed your warrant. In this case, set your bond at none. Your bond's gonna remain at none in this case. You had a public defender. Ms. George, are you appointed on this case?
I'm not sure, no.
One point of public defender to represent you in this matter? Or did you have a private attorney?
No, I thought I already had a public
I
defender.
thought so too, because I think we spoke about this. Ms. George, you want to waive his arraignment?
I'll waive the arraignment and enter denial, Your Honor.
Could I ask you a
Well,
question?
talk to Ms. George first, because everything you tell me is on the record.
Oh, that's okay.
She's about to give the date.
I'm good.
All right, have a good day, sir.
Did we get the date?
Oh, sorry, apologize.
BOP status, July 9th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 7C.
There we go. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
James Buddha.
Say it again.
Sir, it's James Buddha.
Mr. Buddha, you are here in 2007 CT 573, a case out of Flagler County for a violation of probation. Judge in Flagler County set your bond at none. You're a violent felony offender of special concern, so you're not going to be entitled to release on your case until your violation of probation goes to hearing. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you while you're here in my custody until we get you down to Flagler County.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, have a great day, sir.
You too.
All right, good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Lori Judkins.
Ma'am, you are here in 2018 CA 1697 from Lake County. You have a writ for bodily attachment and your purge amount, I believe, is $46,813.12. You can either pay that money or we'll get you on to Lake County so you can get in front of that hearing officer for that case.
I've hired an attorney who was supposed to hopefully get some stuff going this morning in Lake County.
Yeah, so call your attorney,
Yeah.
but right now, we either gonna either pay it, purge it out, or we'll get you to Lake County as soon as we can.
Okay.
All right, have a great day. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Nina Lacey Blue.
Ms. Lacey Blue, you are here in case 2020 CF 303345 from a warrant out of Volusia County for failure to appear. The judge in Volusia County set your bond at none. Your bonds will remain at none till we get you down to Volusia County. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you. You have a great day. Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. All right, so I think there's two warrants. That's the problem. This has a problem. They issued 2 warrants. All right, good morning. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Valerie Ricks.
All right, so, Madam Clerk, what looks like what happened is that there's a failure to appear warrant out for Ms. Ricks. And the bond amounts for that failure to appear warrant, I only see 2 counts. I don't know why it says 4. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out, I'm looking at the actual, what the teletype says. Teletype says, but she has, well, first of all, in case 2020 CF 38727 from Brevard County, you had a warrant for your arrest for violation of pretrial release conditions. Your bond said $1,000 as it comes, sorry, $10,000 as it relates to that. Then they issued a warrant because you failed to appear in the same case, 2020 CF 38727A. And it says possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and a contempt of court, maybe? I have 3 charges. What are the other 2?
5.
What other?
Cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, 2 FTA early resolutions, and a contempt of violation of pretrial release order.
So I mean 1 possession of cocaine, and then 2 possessions of drug paraphernalia?
1 possession of drug paraphernalia.
And then what's the other 3 charges?
3 and 4 is FTA of early resolution.
Okay, so they charge you with failure to appear?
And count 5 is contempt of violation of pretrial release order.
All right, there you go. And then each bond amount in that case is $2,000, correct?
No, it's a blanket bond of $2,000.
It's a blanket bond of $2,000?
Mhm.
All right, so a blanket bond of $2,000 when it relates to that case. I don't know how you want to split that up amongst the 5 cases. 500, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, because it's. All right. All right, 5 counts. All right, so you have a $10,000 bond on the same case, and then another $2,000 bond. And then you also have case 2019 CT 50276, where you failed to appear for arraignment. And in that case, they set your bond at $500 as count 1, and then they charge you with failure to appear. So it's another $500 as that bond, that count, correct?
It's 1 $500 bond.
1 $500 bond?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, this is Brevard County. All right. So it's a blanket bond of $500 for the 2 counts in that case. All right, so you got 10,000, 2,000, 500, or your bonds in your different bonds in your 3 different warrants and warrants. On point, the public defender represents you, so we can get you on Brevard County, unless you can bond out while you're here. You have a great day, ma'am. I didn't do it. Huh? Somebody gonna have to pull the warrant, the actual warrant. Because I only had the 1 warrant, the PTR warrant, I saw exactly what that said. All right. Does anybody have anything else before we take a recess?
No, Your
Just text her. All right. We are on the record. It is 1 p.m., Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. If I could have counsel for the parties, please put your appearance on record.
Happy Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of State Attorney.
Nicholas Sadul on behalf of Ernest Warhurst.
Welcome, counselor.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Letitia George on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
All right, let's get started. What? Okay.
Bring him.
There we go. Please tell me your name.
Ernest Warhurst.
21 MM 4326. You're here charged with battery, domestic violence. Counselor, did you wish to be heard as to anything on this case?
No, I don't have an argument with regard to the.
Probable cause?
Yeah, PC on the case. The only thing we'd like to be heard on with regard to the no contact, we do not object. My client actually doesn't mind a no contact order with regard to the victim. We're asking for a no hostile contact to comply with the divorce proceedings in the current custody ruling with regard to his children. And we would ask for no hostile on that. Otherwise, they don't live together, so there's no need for no return. We're asking for PTR if possible. However, he's a barred attorney who lives in Alabama.
All right. I agree with the no argument about probable cause. There is probable cause. I reviewed the affidavit. He doesn't qualify for pretrial release. Can you tell me why?
I think they put in here due to the previous DV cases with the same wife and that he's out of state. There's no other way that we can actually monitor him like our regular PTR people that's in state.
So I think PTR could, and maybe the state attorney can, when discussing it with the court, he has not been convicted of any domestic violence whatsoever. There's been more charge to the alleged victim than him. This is a contentious divorce. They were both in town for a surgery of their son that's taking place right now. And that's where the allegations came from, just so that the court fully understands he's not have any domestic violence convictions. It's a there are charges back and forth, and that's why he's not objecting to the no contact. He's just asking that the previous ruling with regard to custody, which had those previous charges taken into consideration, be held with regard to children. And then since he doesn't qualify for PTR, we'd just be asking for a $500 bond.
We have a note here that says he has a possible open case in Alabama for harassing communication, arrest date 5/15. So that may be why he doesn't qualify, because if there's an open case in another state, I think that
I see, and that makes sense, because I was like,
disqualifies.
I understood what PTR was saying. I just know, because I do DV now, and I did it as a state attorney. I know that closed cases wouldn't preempt you from getting PTR.
No.
But I do agree. I mean, obviously, there's nothing we can argue with regard to the fact that he does live in Alabama.
Right.
Except that he's retained counsel. He's not at flight risk. He will return. He's got a lot more to lose by not showing up for his MM than he does for anything else. So.
Right. All right, does the state have any objection to a $500 bond? No, Your Honor. All right, at this time, I will set your bond at $500 with special conditions. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim.
Her name is Tenley Warhurst, Your Honor, Tenley.
But what I'm trying to decide is, do they need contact for purposes of exchanging the children?
Well, I've handled that situation before, and if the state agrees, I mean, it'll be incumbent on this defendant to organize the ways with which he gets contact with his children to not have contact with
her.
The victim. Anytime, he understands, and we had a long conversation in the back, and I'll say it out loud now, he understands that even if he's calling his ex to talk to the children, that's a violation.
Right.
He has to use an intermediary. That intermediary is trusted between the two of them. She cannot feel threatened by any of his third-party communications. He understands that.
Okay, so if he's okay, if you're okay with that, and the state's okay with that, I'm gonna leave it at no contact.
Okay.
And then comply with any previous judge's orders in the family law case. I'm not disturbing any of those things. So you'll still be able to have contact with the children, just as your attorney said. Use a third party so that there's no allegation that you violated the no contact order. You're not allowed to possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. Do you still have belongings at the Waldorf?
Yes, ma'am, the rental car and stuff in the rental car, yes, ma'am.
Counselor, do you know if he was trespassed from the Waldorf?
I'm
He was
not aware that
arrested?
he was trespassed, no. I mean, they may do it later.
Right.
Usually they don't do it while you're being taken out. They usually send it to you with your bill.
Well, I'm going to allow him to return to gather his belongings. She's not staying there, right?
No, she's not staying there, and
Right,
like I
so-
said, they maintain separate residences. They did not travel here together. It was in the same city for the purpose of the child's surgery.
All right, any other conditions the state would request? I don't see any alcohol or anything alleged, so.
None.
All right, good luck, sir. Thank you, counselor.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, have a nice day.
You have a great day. Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Yeah, I'm coming with you.
21 CT 4320. Ms. George, your office represents her in this DUI.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
Division 62, pretrial conference, July 19th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9B.
Oh, 21 CT 2840. Your office represents him in this driving while license suspended as well, Counselor.
Yes, I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Division 63, pretrial conference, July 22nd at 1 o'clock, courtroom 12C.
Please tell me your name.
Yes, ma'am. Derek Kuntz.
21 MM 3643. You're here charged with trespass in an occupied structure. Ms. George, your office represents him.
Yes, Your Honor, the offer is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to in-town suites. I did have a chance to speak with Mr. Kuntz, and he understands all the rights he would be given up and would like to accept the state's offer here today and plead no contest.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Coons, you heard what Ms. George just said to the court. Is that what you want to do here today?
Yes, ma'am.
You had an opportunity to speak with your attorney,
Yes, ma'am.
and she explained all the rights you're giving up if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
No, ma'am.
You understand if you're on probation anywhere, this plea could violate that.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could deport you.
Yes, I understand.
All right. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything other than the state's offer to get you to enter this plea today?
No, ma'am.
Sir, at this time, how do you wish to plead to the charge of trespass in an occupied structure?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for, it's like 27 days. Is that right? I'll give you credit for the 27 days that you spent in jail. I have to order that you pay court costs, sir. I'll give you a year to pay those. You can't return to the in-town suites. Do you understand? All right, do you have any questions for me?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good luck. You have 30 days to appeal in writing. Please tell me your name.
Juan, Leon.
21 MM 297. Thank you, sir. You're here charged with resisting an officer without violence. Ms. George, your office represents him.
Yes, Your Honor, the offer from the state is an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, cost of investigation in the amount of $310.37 to Ocoee Police Department. I did review the offer with Mr. Leon. We went over all the rights he would be giving up. He understands those rights and would like to enter a plea of no contest.
Please raise your right hand, sir.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
All right, you heard what Ms. George just said. Is that what you want to do here today?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And you had the opportunity to discuss this with your attorney. She explained to you the rights that you're giving up. Do you understand those rights? Do you have any questions for me about them?
No, I don't.
You understand if you're on probation, this plea could violate that.
I'm on probation?
If you are.
So I have to ask everyone, because if you're on probation in another state and I don't have that information in front of me, I just have to make sure you understand.
Yeah, no, I'm not on probation.
Okay. Also, if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could deport you.
Yeah, no, I'm a citizen.
I have to ask everyone that too, just making sure that you understand. Okay. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to enter this plea?
No.
At this time, how do you wish to plead to the charge of resisting an officer without violence?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 39 days that you've spent in jail. I have to order that you pay court costs and the cost of investigation to Ocoee Police Department of
$310.37.
I did write that down correctly. I'll give you a year to pay that as well, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Do you understand? Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't.
All right, good luck. You have 30 days to appeal in writing.
You're welcome.
I wrote it down, Counselor, but then I thought, I don't know if I heard that right. Sorry. Please tell me your name.
Travis Messer.
Thank you. Like, he doesn't look like a Jasmine, but. I'm sorry, sir. Tell me your name one more time.
Travis Messer.
habeas was issued for your arrest in 20 MM 7750 for failing to appear for a pretrial conference on a charge of petty theft with a prior conviction and resisting merchandise recovery. The bond is $500 on count 1, $100 on count 2. I'll appoint the public defender's office if they weren't previously appointed.
Your Honor, just a second. I missed
Yes.
his.
What's his last name, Your Honor?
Messer?
The offer on Mr. Messer's case was adjudication, credit for time served, no return.
To,
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
He has
Yes.
36 days, Your Honor.
and there's no restitution?
No, it's recovered. No return to Walmart 11250 East Colonial Drive.
All right.
Your Honor, he would like to accept the state's offer here today.
Please raise your right hand, sir.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Messer, you can put your hand down. You heard what Ms. George just said. Is this what you want to do here today?
Yes.
Do you understand all the rights that you're giving up if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
No.
You understand if you're on probation, this plea could violate that?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could deport you?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything other than the state's offer to get you to enter this plea today?
No, ma'am.
At this time, how do you, Ms. George, did you have an opportunity to explain to him that petty theft is enhanceable?
No, Your Honor, I did not mention that. I can.
Just, yeah.
He understands, Your Honor.
All right, so you do understand that after so many convictions of petty theft, the state can file this as a felony.
Yes, ma'am.
So petty theft is typically a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by a maximum of a year in jail. But if the state files it as a felony, it's punishable by a maximum of 5 years in prison.
I understand.
All right, because this says it's charged as a petty theft with a prior theft conviction. So I just want to make sure that you understand that.
Okay.
You understand that, I think it's the next one, the state could file this as a felony.
Okay.
All right, and at this time, understanding all of that, how do you wish to plead to the charge of petty theft with a prior theft conviction and resisting merchandise recovery?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 36 days that you've been in jail. I have to order that you pay court costs. I'll give you a year to pay them. I have to order that you will not return to Walmart. You understand that you can't go back to that Walmart? All right, good luck, sir. You have 30 days to appeal in writing.
Oh, and arrangements we did.
Please tell me your name.
Taylor Crawford.
Thank you. 21 CF 7419, you're here charged with battery on a person 65 years of age or older and battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause at this time.
Your Honor, I would ask for pretrial release. He does not appear to have any type of criminal history.
What says the state? Can he be screened for mental health pretrial release?
PCR, excuse me, no objection.
Did you see the affidavit? I'm going to order that he be screened for mental health pretrial release, otherwise regular pretrial release. With special conditions, you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You also can't return, is this where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your father?
Yes, ma'am.
And you live with your father?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so at this time, I'm going to order that you have to maintain a separate residence, so you can't go back and live with him right now. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll allow you to return one time with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but don't call your dad to coordinate that visit. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Anything else the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir.
Ma'am,
Yes.
if possible, I'm sorry, I wish to change the no contact order if possible.
I can't at this time without the victim being here. So because I haven't heard from your dad, I can't do that. But here's what you can do. On the green piece of paper, there's a phone number. That's for your attorney's office. Call that number and tell them that you want them to file a motion asking the trial court judge to allow you to have contact. So until another judge says you can have contact, don't call your dad, don't text him, don't show up at his house.
So just ask the attorney, ma'am?
Right, ask the attorney to file a motion, but you can't do it until the judge says you can. You understand?
So I have to wait until the judge says yes?
Right.
Of course,
Right,
yes.
so you have to get in front of that judge.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I can't do it here today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good luck. Please tell me your name.
Chandra Buckridge.
21 MM 4324. You're here charged with battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you.
And Your Honor, she does qualify for pretrial release. I would ask for pretrial release in this case.
I'm looking at her history, counselor, and I'm not inclined to do that. What says the state?
No objection to PTR, Your Honor.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release with special conditions. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means? You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You can't have contact with the witness in this case. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You can't possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or controlled substances without a valid prescription, and you'll be subject to random drug and alcohol screens while on pretrial release. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Yes.
The landlord informed me that, the person that was in the resident has moved out. And if you did, release me to go back to the residency, there's no one there.
So I'm ordering that you must maintain a separate residence. If he's not there, you can go back.
Okay.
But I can't make him leave.
No worries.
So,
I want to make sure it's okay.
but you understand that if you go there and he's there
Yes, ma'am.
and you have contact with him, now you're in violation of the court order.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
So you need to be really careful with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, good luck. Please tell me your name.
Joseph Clark.
21 MM 4328. You're here charged with battery, dating, violence. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause. I have that he's a violent felony offender of special concern and also on state probation. So I don't know if that VOP is coming. Your bond is $1,000. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll also order you must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor. I'm sorry, what was the bond amount, though?
1,000.
Thank you.
Good luck. Please tell me your name.
Gary Patterson.
21 MM 4329. You're here charged with battery, domestic violence. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. At this time, there is probable cause. Ma'am, do you wish to testify?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Carolyn Patterson.
State you may inquire.
Ms. Patterson, how do you know Gary Patterson?
That's my husband.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Would you like contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes.
Were drugs or alcohol related to this incident?
No.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
If something happened in the future, would you feel comfortable in calling the police or 911?
No, I wouldn't be uncomfortable, no.
Okay, no further questions.
Does the defense wish to inquire?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, your bond is $1,000. At this time, you're not allowed to have any contact with your wife. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. I'm ordering that you maintain a separate residence, and I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you cannot coordinate that with her. You understand?
Ma'am.
One moment.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm also ordering that you're not allowed to have any unsupervised contact with any minor child under the age of 18. The children are both witnesses in this case.
Your Honor, I would just ask that he complies with any orders given by DCF.
In any other kind of case, counselor, I would order that he's not allowed to have contact with the witnesses. Both children witnessed this.
I'm not, my only concern is that if the court, if the DCF court gives him a case plan that he needs to follow and he has visitation rights, I believe, from my understanding, Your Honor, that court.
At that point, you would have to reach out to the Division 50 judge to have a bond hearing to modify the condition of no contact.
Oh.
Yeah. Ma'am, did you wish to say something else?
Yes, ma'am. It was an isolated incident with us, and he's the primary income in the home. I'm disabled, so I'm not able to maintain a separate residence at this time.
You don't have to. He does. I'm not ordering you to do anything. You don't have to leave the home. But he can't go back to the home right now. And this doesn't mean that he doesn't have to pay the bills. He still has to pay the bills at the house. But he can't be there right now. I'll tell you what I'm concerned about. Both of your children saw this happen and told law enforcement what happened. And while it's not charged as any kind of aggravated assault with a firearm, there's no firearm charge in here. There are facts about a firearm. That's very concerning to this court.
Don't talk about that.
All right, attorneys, help me figure this out. In any other kind of case, we would order that he's not allowed to have contact with the witnesses. What's the reason that we order that?
So he can't tamper, so anybody can't tamper with the witness testimony?
So in this case, if I order that he cannot have contact with the witnesses, those are his two children. But if I allow him to have contact with the children, he could try to influence the children's testimony.
I understand.
Any recommendations?
No, Your Honor, again, if
He
DCF
can have
allows him.
supervised contact, Your Honor, with the third party present, not the wife. But he could have supervised contact with someone else present. This way he would still be allowed to see the children, and obviously if he was to tamper with any testimony, that person could report it or be called as a witness independent of either parent.
I like this.
It wasn't my idea. Mr. Eugene came up with it.
I like this. Listen, Mr. Patterson, I'm trying to come up with a solution for you. I'm not without compassion, but you understand that I have to balance your rights as well as the safety of the community and the victim and the witnesses in this case. So what I'm going to say is you can't have unsupervised contact with your children. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
But I am going to allow you to have contact with them. Not your wife at this time. Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for coming. Good luck. Well, I said any minor. Leave it, okay. But I'm allowing him to have contact with his, just supervised. Right. Because at first I was gonna not. Yeah, that's right, okay. Please tell me your name.
Kevin Ramhit. Your Honor.
21MM380. You're here charged with battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause in this case. Ma'am, do you wish to testify?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
We do.
Please state your name for the record.
Lisa Freewald. And Ms. Freewald, how do you know Mr. Ramit?
He is my husband?
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
If something happened in the future, would you feel comfortable in calling the police or 911?
Yes.
Were drugs or alcohol related to this incident?
No.
No further questions.
Defense?
No, Your Honor, no questions. He does qualify for pretrial release, Your Honor. I would just ask for pretrial release in this case.
Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
At this time, I'm going to place you on pretrial release. With special conditions, you're not allowed to have any contact with your wife. Do you understand that? You
Yes,
understand what no contact means?
yes, ma'am. Wanted to ask you if you could modify to non-hostile, no contact?
I'm not going to do that at this time. I think sometimes in situations like this, it helps everyone to take a step back, have a break, breathe a little bit. So at this time, you can't have any contact. Your attorney can file a motion in front of the trial judge to get that order modified. But until another judge changes that, you can't have contact with her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. I'm going to order you must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings.
Can I say something?
Did you say something?
I would like to say something.
Yes.
Since this never happened in the past, there's no history of violence in the house. I would like to have contact with him. We do have a 9-year-old son that I would like to have him be home with, because he's home from school as well.
I understand, but
And he works from home, so he takes care of our son.
I'm concerned about that.
If we can do a non-hostile, that can be better than the no contact as well too. This, like I said, this has never happened in the past. He's not a violent person.
And you're not afraid of him?
No, not at all. I'm just emotional because I'm thinking of my son.
I understand. Listen, I understand this is a really tough situation. I do.
Your Honor, I would just ask that given the fact that he doesn't have a criminal history, or this has not happened before, you place him on pretrial release. If anything happens, he raises his voice, a neighbor calls the police, he'll be brought back here where he can be held at no bond. So I just ask that you give them this opportunity and place him on pretrial release with a no hostile contact order.
All right, I'm going to modify that to no hostile contact, peaceful contact only. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
And you understand that you're the one with everything at risk here.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
If you guys get into an argument and someone calls the police, you're the one who's coming back. You understand that?
I will not be there for an argument. I'll be far away.
All right. You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. I'm not going to order maintain separate residence. I'll allow him to return to the home based on the testimony here today. Good luck, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Judge, you appointed the public defender.
I did. We still have the admin order,
Oh, okay.
so it's not optional. Please tell me your name.
Dylan Uzma.
21MM4331, you're here charged with battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause. Your bond is $500. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. Were you two living together?
Oh, no, ma'am. I just visit.
All right, you can't return to her residence for any reason at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess or consume alcoholic beverages or any controlled substance without a valid prescription. And at this time, I'm revoking your bond in 20 CT 3417. Good luck, sir.
Excuse me, ma'am. My bond is revoked for the DUI?
Yes.
Okay.
Your attorney will have to file a motion in front of the trial judge.
I don't have,
I don't have it.
I don't have that case.
Can I have the case number? Can I have the case number of the DUI?
I just said it.
No, I didn't see it on here, so I didn't.
20 CT 3417. I mean, I said the case number.
No, we did, Your Honor, but normally it's on the back page. On our PTR,
Oh.
it's not on there.
Oh. Please tell me your name.
Louis Figueroa.
21 CT 4529 and 4530. You're charged with no motor vehicle registration and attaching a tag unassigned to a vehicle. But was there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor, there was a.
Hold on, before you tell me though. Doesn't he have a fugitive from justice warrant?
Yes.
So is that holding him here?
Yes.
Okay, and you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because he's not going to get out then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead.
The offers of withhold of adjudication credit time served in order to resolve the case today. I did speak to Mr. Figueroa. He understands all the rights he will be giving up, and he would like to accept the state's offer here today.
Please raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Yes. Thank you.
You heard what Ms. George just said. Is that what you want to do here today?
Yes.
And you understand that it looks like you have something else holding you here, so you won't be released.
I understand.
All right. Do you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering a plea on these charges today?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about those rights?
No.
Do you understand that if you're on probation anywhere, this plea could violate that probation?
Yes.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to enter this plea today? At this time, how do you wish to plead to the charges of no motor vehicle registration and attaching a tag unassigned?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll withhold adjudication, give you credit time served, order that you pay court costs, and I'll give you a year to pay them.
Yes, 1 day.
1 day? All right, you have 1 day. Good luck, sir. You have 30 days to appeal in writing.
Was that a withhold or adjudication?
Withhold.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please tell me your name.
Anthony Batalla.
21 CT 1085 and 1086.
Yes, ma'am.
You're here charged with DUI and driving while license suspended. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on one moment. Your bond is $500 on count 1, $500 on count 2. You're not allowed to drive without a valid Florida license, and you can't possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
Wait, wait. Where do I go?
Please tell me your name. 21 CF 7412. You're here charged with possession of cocaine and resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $1,000 on count 1, $500 on count 2. You're not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. Do you understand that? You can't have contact with any known drug dealers. As to your 2 out on bond cases, I'm inclined to revoke them, Counselor, unless you can give me a reason not to.
Your Honor, I would just argue they're nonviolent offenses. I know he has the driving while license suspended with knowledge. I was gonna see if we could possibly resolve that one today, if it's not a felony.
No, Your Honor.
And I don't believe any information was filed on the introduction of contraband. Was the last note I saw in our system.
While out on bond for a controlled substance, he's arrested for a controlled substance. His last conviction in 2019 was for possession of a controlled substance.
If you are inclined to revoke, Your Honor, I would just ask that you revoke and double, being that they're nonviolent offenses.
All right, I'm going to revoke those bonds and I'll double both of them, both cases. So I'm not going to hold you at no bond, sir, but you'll have to repost those bonds. Yes. I'm doubling them, so it'll be twice as much. So on the driving while license suspended, it was $500. Now it'll be $1,000.
And what's the bond amount in the CF case, Judge?
It's $1,150, so now it'll be $2,300. 2,300. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please tell me your name.
Zarian Alfred?
21MM4327. You're charged with retail petty theft, resisting a merchant, and battery. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause. I'll stay your bonds at $500 on count 1, $500 on count 2, and $250 on count 3. You're not allowed to return to,
7-Eleven.
Your Honor, I believe she qualifies for pretrial release. I would ask for pretrial release in this case.
does the state have any objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll place you on pretrial release, but you're not allowed to return to the scene. You can't have contact with any witness in the case. You're not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug screens while on pretrial release. There is also probable cause in 21 CF 7413, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you in that case. I will also place you on pretrial release in that case with all of the same conditions. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Enli Tabari Ford.
21 CF 7415, you're here charged with possession of cocaine, tampering with physical evidence, and possession of MDMA. There is probable cause, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $1,000 on count 1, $150 on counts 2 and 3 each. You're not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance, and you can't have contact with any known drug dealers. Do you understand? I'm inclined to revoke her out on bond case. She's out on bond on possession of a controlled substance.
Your Honor, it looks like she was referred to drug diversion. I don't believe she started, but I would just point out that her last conviction was in 2013. It was a drug possession, but she has 0 failures to appear, and that was a while ago. So I just ask that if you are inclined to revoke, that you revoke and double the bond amount as opposed to revoking and holding her at no bond, being that they are nonviolent offenses.
It's a 2019 case. When was it referred to diversion?
I just see the note, Your Honor. I'm like, wait.
Does the state know?
No, you have other charges. You're out on bond in 2019. You picked up the same session. No, you referred to drug diversion.
The contract was generated in August of 2019. I don't see it ever signed. And that was the last date, the court, it's falling off the docket, it looks like, because of that. So like he was referred to PTD, I see a contract generated, but I don't ever see a contract signed. This is, what's his last
Yeah.
name? Or what's his last name?
She stated that she thought it was dropped, Your Honor, so it probably did fall off the docket.
Yeah, so like I see a note that says contract signed, took no action in October 2019. In our office or the clerk site after that. Refer to division to set a status because, I mean, there's nothing, I have no new court dates coming up.
I'm still inclined to revoke it. I'm going to revoke your bond in that case. Your attorney's going to have to file a motion. I'm sorry, did you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Gibson.
Before you say anything, let me just make sure you understand everything you say is being recorded and can be used against you later. You understand that?
She revoked. Just made a whole argument. No.
Ms. Gibson, I have to, ma'am.
Okay, well, get closer to the microphone.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have to tell me that you understand this is being recorded and can be used against you later.
Yes, ma'am, I understand, Ms. Gibson. Ms. Gibson, I just had a newborn grandbaby. I just started my job. I need to work. Ms. Gibson, this charge here was over 2 years ago. I thought everything was completed with it. The court, the public defender, when we went to court, they said the case was, done. It's nothing I did wrong or intentionally. I haven't been charged with a crime in since 2001. Please, ma'am, I'm asking you, Ms. Gibson, can you please please, you know, if you had,
Your last conviction was 2013 for possession of cannabis. I don't know if that's less than 20 grams.
Ms. Gibson, please. I mean.
Where do you work?
I work as, Smarty Pants Early Learning Center. And
Is that your friend's child care center?
No, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry. No, ma'am, it's not.
There you go, relax.
Ms. Gibson, please, I'm just asking for a chance.
Why did you decline to complete the interview with pretrial release
This morning,
whenever they were trying to talk to you?
I did. I spoke with pretrial release this morning, Ms. Gibson.
All right.
I spoke with them, ma'am.
I just have a note that says she declined to complete the interview.
Oh, no, ma'am. I was more than willing to speak with them, Ms. Gibson.
I believe they called her up, and I think she just sat there.
No, I went up to speak with the lady at pretrial release today. I'm willing to do, yes, ma'am, I went up to speak with her. Ms. Gibson, please, everybody deserves a chance, Ms. Gibson. I'm just working. I just had a newborn grandbaby. I'm trying to do the right thing.
You've had a lot of chances. I agree with you. Everyone deserves a chance.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just asking Ms. Gibson, please. Please, Your Honor.
Let's pass this to the end of the docket. We'll call you back up later.
Thank you, Ms. Gibson.
Please tell me your name.
Melvin Cantrell.
21 CF 7414. You're here charged with possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, carrying a concealed weapon, and possession of a weapon in the commission of a felony. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you.
Okay.
I'll stay your bonds at $150 on counts 1 and 2 and $5,000 on count 3. You're not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. Do you understand?
Yes.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. You can't have contact with any known drug dealers.
No problem.
And at this time, I'm revoking your bond in 20 CF 14503.
Your Honor, I would just ask that if you are inclined to revoke, you revoke in double.
Please.
Don't talk
He's out on bond for a drug charge, and he's arrested for new drug charges with a firearm.
I understand.
Like a drug dealer. I don't. What says the state?
Leave that in court's discretion.
That was very helpful, Counselor.
Anytime, Your Honor, anytime.
Your Honor, I see only one misdemeanor conviction on his record. I understand the weapon. I would just ask that, again, I believe they only filed on the possession of cannabis. So I would just ask that if you are inclined to revoke, you just revoke in double. I don't see any other convictions other than that one misdemeanor.
There has to be something because there was a failure to appear in 2018.
I don't know, I'm just looking at the sheet that I have, Your Honor.
I'm going to revoke your bond and double the amount, so it'll be $2,500. Good luck, sir.
Your Honor, they only filed on the synthetic cannabis charge.
So it'll be $2,000. Please tell me your name.
Morning, Ja'Cory Clark.
21 CF 7411. You're here charged with possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver and possession of a controlled substance. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $1,000 on count 1, $150 on count 2. You're not allowed to possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
You're not allowed to possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition, or have contact with any known drug dealers. Did you have a question?
I was going to say, I just came to jail for the same charge last month, and they dropped it because I have my medical marijuana license. And I was explaining to the officer that arrested me last night, the same situation happened, and they dropped my charges. But,
One moment, Your Honor.
so I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the safest route to go, because it's the second time this happened to me.
I would talk to your attorney about that.
Yes, ma'am.
I reviewed the probable cause affidavit, and there is definitely probable cause that it looks like you're dealing drugs. So, hold on, hold on. Everything you say is being recorded and can be used against you. I'm not asking you to defend it. I'm just telling you what's in the affidavit. It very much looks like you're dealing drugs. So if I were you, I would talk to your attorney about it.
I had explained to the officer, I understand what it looks like, but it's just like,
Don't talk about that.
Right, I'm not asking you to defend yourself.
I know. I'm
I
sorry.
understand by saying that it sounds like you should defend yourself to me, and you don't have to. This is just probable cause.
Okay, I understand.
If I were you, I would talk to my attorney about it and ask them what's the safest thing to do.
I don't have a note in our system about the last case, as far as the medical, he may have shown it, ASA just did not put that in the notes. They just put, cannot be proved. Now,
All right, and at this time, I'm revoking your out on bond case. So your attorney's gonna have to file a motion in front of the trial judge on that case.
No, you're gonna have to wait and call the number.
What if my bond, I bonded out last night, and my bondsman told me that if you guys revoked it, to let you guys know that I've been out on bond for over a year now for the same charge. And he told me to inform you guys that I'm not flight risk.
It says that you bonded on May 14th.
Yeah, all right, they dropped my charges for the possession of cannabis with intent to sell. So by me,
That's not this charge.
No, I got charged for the same charge last month.
No. You're out on bond for a burglary of a structure, resisting without violence, and criminal mischief.
Yes, ma'am, for last year, so,
they revoked his bond when he came back last month.
yeah.
And then they set a new one, that could be it, man, one second, pull up, Your Honor.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Saying that
They already revoked it.
They may have revoked it and then set a new one, and so therefore he would have bonded out again.
Oh, I wasn't gonna set a new one?
So that's why, one second. So that's what happened, is they revoked it when he came last month.
I see.
And then they set a new bond, and that bond was,
800.
It says 7,000.
let's see. One more second, my computer's not moving. So 7,000 total, count one was 5, count 2 was 1, and count 3 was, count 2 was 1,000, count 3 was 1,000. And then they gave him new court dates, so he revoked it and reset, and that was Judge Barber then. That's why it would have shown he recently bonded out, but it wasn't because.
I see. I think you're gonna have to file another motion in front of the trial judge, sir, because I'm inclined to revoke that bond. You can't be arrested for new law violations when you're out on bond.
And even if I have my medical marijuana license,
Even if you have your medical marijuana license.
My suggestion would be that he give his medical marijuana to defense and let defense, in their, I mean, I can see if in their motion they placed it last time. In the motion
what I'm
they
looking
filed.
at.
the first time I went to jail, I didn't have my card on me. It was in the mailbox that night. So when I just went yesterday, the first time I went, they took me because I couldn't show them proof that I had my medical marijuana license. So last night when he pulled me over, I had the proof. And I got charged with the same exact charge last month, the same exact grams. It's just the same thing.
Let's just his defense attorney send that to the state so we can at least, because I can click on the files, but I don't ever see they provided notice to defense.
But there's also the second charge, possession of oxycodone. So even if the state dropped the cannabis because of whatever the defense is, there's possession of oxycodone.
And I explained to him that that wasn't my.
Don't, hold up for a second. Hold up. Silence is going for a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. No one, I'm not asking you to defend it today. Really, I'm not asking you to do that.
I went back into the bond motion, and the attorney at the time did file, I have a copy, I can show defense of the, just for the marijuana I think that's the only thing doing.
Right, it doesn't touch the hydrocodone.
Yes,
But-
I don't know if he has a license for, a prescription for that one. I do not know the answer to that. But at least they did file in the bond hearing with Judge Barber a copy of that. You want me to show it's in the court file, but it's on that bond case. And it says it expires, it says expires on 4/19/2022. And it looks like the same guy, the pictures on it, so it looks like the same person.
I don't know whatever the state decides to do with that, you can do, but you were still arrested for a new law violation while out on bond?
I don't have court to that till August 3rd, and that's for the pretrial diversion program that they're supposed to be signing me up for.
Burglary goes into pretrial diversion?
Yes, ma'am. Because I wasn't convicted of the charge. They said once I complete the program that everything will be dropped.
Well, that's what pretrial diversion is, but,
It has to be fact specific, Your Honor.
all right.
I have not received that, so I definitely have not accepted that to PTD yet.
All right, I'm revoking it at this time. Call your attorney and have them file a motion in front of the trial judge. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Sheldon Camp.
21 CF 7407. You're here charged with driving while license suspended, third or subsequent offense. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $2,500. You can't drive without a valid license. You understand that?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Don't,
I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure you understand that. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good luck.
Which one is it? It's him. Kemp, sorry.
No.
Yeah, I was looking for him.
We skipped Hunter.
There you go. I was like, who is this too? I was confused.
Right. What happened with Hunter? Okay.
Yeah, they messing everybody up.
Okay, thank you. Please tell me your name.
Thomas McDermott.
21 CF 7408. You're here charged with battery on a law enforcement officer and disorderly intoxication. There is probable cause, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $5,000 on count one, $500 on count two. You can't possess or consume any alcoholic beverage. You can't have contact with goddess elder. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Do you still have belongings at the Wyndham Bonnet Creek Resort?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'll just order that you're not allowed to return there.
And Your Honor, can he return? I believe he lives out of state to North Carolina.
Yes. Witness. Good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
William Thomas.
21 CF 7424. You're charged with leaving the scene of a crash involving damage to property and evidence destroying.
Your Honor,
Hold on, I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Yes, Ms. George?
as far as the evidence destroying, altering, or concealing, I know he fled the scene, but there is no evidence of him destroying, altering, or concealing any type of evidence based on the four corners of this arrest affidavit. So I would just ask that you find no PC for count two.
I have no objection to ROR's account two.
No, there's something else. Hold on. All right, with no objection from the state, I'll ROR you as to count 2. Your bond is $1,000 on count 1. You're not allowed to have any contact with any victim or witness in this case. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck. Please tell me your name.
Anthony Roberts.
A warrant was issued for your arrest in 17 CF 12518 for violating your probation by failing to pay the state of Florida the amount of $20 per month toward cost of supervision, failing to pay court costs, failing to successfully complete 50 hours of community service. There's no bond authorized on that warrant, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Good luck. Totally, went like this. It's a Monday. Please tell me your name. Looks like you have many out-of-county warrants, or maybe it's just one case. It's all under one case number. 19 WAR 4976 out of Escambia County. Looks like it's for grand theft and 11 counts of uttering false instruments fraud. Your bond is $1,000 per count, so the total bond amount is $12,000. We'll notify them that you're here so that they can come and get you. But you have a bond, so if you're able to post it, you can bond out. All right, good luck. Everybody okay?
Yeah. What's it me?
All right, Ms. Bodiford.
Yes, ma'am.
This is 21 CF 7415.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have, is that her? No. Do you have this one?
The order?
Right, whatever I've already said. I don't want to repeat anything. Hold on, let me look at this. Did the state have a position as to revoking her out on bond case?
No, Your Honor. We'll leave it in the court's discretion.
Ms. George, did you have anything else to argue?
No, Your Honor, I would just echo the same arguments I made before.
At this time, I'm going to revoke that bond, but instead of holding you at no bond,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to require that you post a $1,000 bond on count 1 and $100 on count 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.